In my last video, I ended it by saying I have no more jobs on the schedule. Literally nothing in the future. There is no work for me. And within 48 hours, I got multiple jobs coming through, and this one was one of them. It came from a referral. Somebody that I referred a job, they actually paid it back and said, "Can you work tomorrow?" All right, that was extremely fast. Our first person is coming, but this is the frame that we're gonna do. We needed to show the branding and just have one lavalier. So that's that one.
And we're serving the youth. We're serving.
I actually really like this type of corporate work. It's not the most exciting subject matter, but it is a very fun E&G type of exercise where it's a lot of impromptu interviews, switching over to B-roll. There's something happening over here. Okay, pivot. We expect you to get it very immediately. Whereas there's, a lot of other jobs where there is setup required for each shot. There is consideration between multiple crew members. In this type of job, it's normally always producer and shooter. And that is a very common corporate working formula as far as crew member goes. So I rarely work with a director in corporate work. It's kind of, the duties are split between those two people. And so you have to think technically and creatively. But I like it when you can get into this type of workflow where you're kind of optimized and you're seeing things before they happen, and it's just working well. That is one thing I always got to remember when I am switching between shoulder rig and just the base plate. I have to remember to switch this. There's been a couple times where I've shown up and not had a side handle because it was at home on the shoulder rig, but this is working good so far. Now, I brought this big lens because they said we'll be filming someone speak at a podium, and I don't know how far away that is, but I just took a look, and we'll definitely be able to do it with the 24-70 at 70 mil, and this can stay here, but I just wanted to bring it just in case. I mean, this is a fat boy. This is 150-600, and I always just have it just in case. I don't have the most expensive day rate, but once it comes to $1,000 and starts to go up, there is an expectation of the level of kit that you'll be providing. If they ask to throw a lav on, you need to have a lav. If they ask to boom something, you need to have a boom, and that goes for lighting too. We are getting ready to shoot the speeches at the podium, but it would be nice to have a little bit of fill on them. So I'm going to take this off because it's going to be far away and I need the output. They're going to do in their impact. In a perfect world, I'd be able to set up each shot exactly how I want it, but most of the time, it's just working with what you have. How much time do you have? How many resources do you have? What space do you have? What gear do you have? And you're just trying to make the best with what you can do. So for audio, they said we cannot mic each person one by one because this is a 15-minute window and 4 people are speaking. So I left the mic at the podium. And I also have that shotgun mic right there, not necessarily for a backup mic, but for room tone and ambient sounds, because when one person gets off, they all clap, and I want to be able to pick that up. So this is actually what I had to do. I've seen other people do this. You wrap your lav around the house mic and hope for no interference, and that seemed to work really, really well. I love these 2/3 inch zoom lenses because the ranges are absolutely crazy at really nice T-stops, and there really is no modern solution for full frame lenses that doesn't break the bank. But I think if Tamron rehoused their 35-150, just put it in a manual geared housing, I think it would sell like crazy, and it's frankly like an untapped market right now. So this is more like E&G style work, not doing anything live, but I kind of like this. It's really formulaic. You got to get the A-roll, which is whoever's going to be talking, and then you get some B-roll, some cutaways, and then always get some establishing shots. So it's just nice. I can come out here, flick the ND on, don't have to bring any filters with me, and it's just fast, just very, very fast operation. So nice. So this is just a little bit of sun bouncing off that window, and you can see it's right about to go down, but I'm going to catch it just to make this kind of boring establishing shot have a nice little flair to it. Okay, running back, I gotta get this light.
Everyone here is being themselves. Smile.
I kind of had to fight for that light because the producer said, hey, we're rolling ready to go. And I knew we're shooting backlit. It would just be so much better if I could bring in some soft light. So that's why I ran over to the previous location where the light was and then brought it here. And when the producer saw the frame, he was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. And I could see it in his eyes. I might hire this guy again. I hope he does. And I actually have some footage to show you guys for once.
Yes, they do. I have some online work.
Audio is nice and clear. Highlights are a little cooked. So we were shooting in Rec 709. They needed fast turnaround, so no log. But I really like this frame. The 24-70 is just so great. It's so versatile. I don't have to move the whole tripod if I need to get a slightly different frame. I just slowly zoom in, slowly zoom out. It's a really nice zoom ring, by the way. I wish it had servo. That would be really nice. Again, I just wish the 28-135 was updated. If that was updated, I think it would solve a lot of my complaining, and I could, finally just have like one lens that stays on here and doesn't come off for this type of work. For other jobs, it might be different, but yeah, I wish that lens would come out. The entire production was 2.5 hours, but we have all the gear. It took up my day, so just charge it as a normal full day rate. And yeah, I like these types of jobs. They're so quick. They're very intuitive. Like, you have to like see the action before they come. But once you get decent at it, then they become really easy. And as much grief as I give this cart, I do love how fast it is to deploy. I haven't seen another system that can work as fast. But when I really like how all wheels are 360 degrees, so I can slide into spaces. But when all four wheels are 60 degree and you're going downhill, the whole thing can turn sideways. So it's nice when two are fixed and then two are 360. That would be kind of ideal. All right, let's see how much time someone left for me. What do we got? 33 minutes. That's enough. Big perk of living in Orlando is all of the Hispanic and Latin food. There's some Colombian arepas. Yum. Made it back in time for my consultation call with Sam, who is a Chicago-based videographer, and we were able to go over his inquiries in lead generation and certain ways to approach it, certain ways to attack it, how to attract it. That's another one. Like, you want to outreach, but you also want to attract. And it's really nice to be able to go in depth in these calls if you guys want a consultation call to go over whatever you want in the freelance game, in the equipment game, whatever. My knowledge is fair game. I'm an open book on these vlogs, but even more so in the calls. It's $125 an hour, and we can set up one for whenever you want to put it on the schedule. The absolute best way to get more clients is to strengthen your network. Doran's going to be capturing BTS video for AOD, and this is the theater. Before anybody arrives, we got the one-day doc poster in the back. We got smooth jazz playing, and you can actually order food here. It's like a full service bar and restaurant while you sit. This is definitely one of the cooler things that I've done recently. So I have a nice partnership with the Art of Documentary, which is an online academy for filmmakers. And they just saw me posting my vlogs in their Facebook a lot. And that started our affiliate program where I was able to make a little bit of money and share what I had gotten out of their program, which eventually led to them asking for quote unquote leaders in certain areas where they could pull together an audience. And I let them know, hey, I've had my Orlando Filmmaker meetup multiple times. I can bring an audience. So I secured the venue for them, and then they were able to deliver this screening, and we have this symbiotic nature where I help them, they help me.
I feel better about it.
And it's just cool to see what people within our range of abilities can create. That last one definitely had the largest crew out of all the other films. So they were able to bring people together And that's something that I appreciate that can happen today. I was able to bring some people together. And then we were able to transition straight into my Orlando Filmmaker Meetup. I haven't done it in Orlando for a while. I did it in Atlanta. I had a really fun one in Dallas, and it's been a few months off, but now that my schedule's open, we get to have another one here, and there are a ton of AOD members that I've never met before, and some old friends too.
It's like having a friend your whole life. If work wasn't your passion, you would have a big void. The only thing that
This
matters
is Erin.
love.
She's a longtime friend, and she totally has a producer brain to the point that she took notes on a film festival. That's just how she's wired. And then we also had Rhea in the green on the left. She actually edited one of the films, so it was really nice to have one of the people involved with the films who actually was a crowd favorite. It was one of mine. My top three were Mint, Meet Austin, and Dale. And there was just so much talent in all of these. And there's so much talent in Orlando too. So I love that this conversation right here can happen. These are people from all over, and they get to mix and talk and share and have discussion. And that's kind of the whole point of this, is to give some back and forth without any ill intention. It's a safe space, and we're going to probably see each other in the future. We'll bring each other on jobs. And I loved seeing so many people who had not been connected yet. And I had another consultation call this week with Sam Gitto. He's a Georgia-based filmmaker who was here for vacation and decided to actually extend his whole trip with his girlfriend just to get to the AOD screening. So we decided, why not just have our consultation call in person and enjoy the Florida weather. So dope. Did you see he had an AOD hat? I need to get one of those. But that was a really, really fun meetup, way better than over Zoom. So if you guys schedule a consultation call, I'm always down to do it over Zoom. If you're in Orlando, I can't guarantee it, but maybe there's a way where I can meet up with you guys and we can just like hash it out in person, which is a lot more efficient and more fun, honestly.